Hi everyone, my name is Allison Venable and I have created a visual and performing arts unit plan for the unit theme of the solar system. This is for grade 5 students. Okay, let's get started. So the first lesson is to integrate visual arts, and the activity they will be doing is students will analyze photographs of each of the planets in our solar system, and they will be comparing the colors and the sizes. The students will use circle templates to draw their planets, and lastly they will use watercolor paintings to paint their planets based on cool colors, perspective, and the value. So they'll paint these are some examples that they'll be using. They'll use the watercolors to paint the characteristics and the size as well. This is my objective for the lesson. At the end of this lesson, the students will be able to understand that each of the planets in our solar system have different characteristics and patterns. And lastly, the students will use their artistic perception and creative expression to complete their paintings. And the standards are listed right here for visual and performing arts for grade 5. The science standards, this also meets the science standards as well. So my next activity to integrate visual performing arts is for music. Students will split up into groups to create a song that describes the order of the planets and the characteristics and the different sizes. They can use melodies from different folk tales that they have heard of in their songs, or they can create their own melodies. The students will be responsible for a verse in the song in their groups. I have an example here that I will show students prior to the assignment. This is from pbskids.org. It is by Bartlett and Lang, the Solar System song, and it kind of just gives an example of how to create the song and what the teacher may be looking for. And it gives the order of the planets and the different characteristics as well, so they can kind of use this as a reference if they have any confusion as well. I also created a video, or I found this instructional resource for a video song on YouTube.
Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Mercury, Venus.
So as you can see, that's kind of an example that you can show students prior to this assignment. At the end, I have the objective listed, so at the end of this lesson, they'll be able to understand the order of the planets as well as the different characteristics that make up each of the unique planets. So the students will use their creative expression to compose and perform their songs as well. These are my standards that I have listed. They meet the music standards as well as the science standard. The next activity is to integrate dance. So students will split up into two different groups. One group will be assigned the element of revolution in our solar system, and one group will be assigned the element of rotation. The rotation around the body and the revolution around the body movements will be locomotor and non-locomotor. So revolution will be based on locomotor, focusing on gravity and orbit, and rotation movements will concentrate on rotating and spinning non-locomotor movements. Students will use their bodies to describe how this revolution and rotation movements represent or relate to the planets in our solar system. I have some examples of movements they can use for a locomotor movement and non-locomotor movements. I also have a short little video that I can show to them. So this shows the distance between the planets and as well as the distance from the sun. So they can get a more visual idea, and it kind of just shows introduces the lesson to them. The objective of this lesson will be students will use their body movements to describe how revolution and rotation represent the planets in our solar system. The standards are based on the visual and performing arts for dance for 5th grade and the California Science Standards for 5th grade as well. Okay, so my last activity is for drama. As a final kind of ending project, you can use this as a finishing for all the lessons. So students will split up into groups of 8. Each student will be assigned a planet, and they will research their planets, creating a script describing their planet's unique characteristics. Students will then create props and costumes designed for their own planet that they will perform for their classmates. This, based on how many students you have, you can change the order of the groups or how many groups you want to have as well. At the end of this lesson, students will use the information gained from the previous lessons to create a script based on the planet they have been assigned. Students will then be able to perform their planets in sequence to the planet's actual order. Here I have, a little bit of examples of the size of the planets. You can kind of give them a introduction for this, as well as a worksheet on how to split up your each of the planets and the characteristics so they can get a visual. The students will then turn in their scripts to be shown to the teacher of their understanding of these the rest of this lesson. So that is the end of my presentation. I hope you found each of these lessons to be informative and useful in integrating visual arts. Thank you.